seed falls from overhead into the soft soil beneath. It's buried by steady rain that lasts all afternoon. Its growth will mark the beginning of a new tree in the rainforest. But where did that seed come from? A bird? A squirrel? A monkey? Nope. This one came from an unlikely gardener, a small arboreal carnivore. If her plant takes root and survives, it may one day tower over the other trees in the forest to grant shelter and safety to her descendants. But sometimes it takes an unlikely and unwitting hero to continue the cycle of life, death, and taxonomy. Welcome back to Life, Death, and Taxonomy. It's your 30 minutes of interesting animal info. I'm Joe.
And I'm Carlos.
And today we're talking about a carnivore in name only, but more on that later. But yeah, we're talking about a special little guy.
You are talking about it's an odd name. I'm surprised they haven't come up with something else for it, but it's the Kinkajou.
Well, you might be able to come up with some other things for it.
I sure can. Well, maybe not me, but a lot of people have come up with other names for it. But like, I'm just surprised these aren't the common names. Like the bear cat. What was it? What was the name of it? Oh, the binturong. It's like, yeah, it's just a weird word, but everybody else calls it the bear cat.
True, very true. But bear cat's not very accurate.
No, it's not, and neither of these. So here's some nicknames. The honey bear. We really like to name things bears that aren't bears, like the space or water bear, the bear cat, the koala bear, the woolly bear moth.
I think it's just a lot of things that are in the order Carnivora that are clearly not cats, and they're clearly not dogs. Oh, they're bears.
Well,
they got round ears and a snout and teeth. They're bears.
The koala is not in the order Carnivora.
Yeah, it's not even near it. I don't know why. Koalas are just fluffy and they look like cubs, I guess.
And the water bear isn't even in the same phylum. It's barely in the same kingdom. It's like a...
Barely?
Oh, goodness gracious. But it's not a bear. It was called the honey bear, but it's not a bear. Kinkajou's not a bear. The other one is a sugar bear.
Okay.
I guess. I mean, it likes...
That's definitely a pet name that you would call your...
A sugar bear.
Significant other.
Or a pet name you would call this pet.
Yeah.
It's also called a cat monkey, which I like. It's not a cat or a monkey, but it's a little bit more descriptive, I think.
I've heard in other languages when it's like it's kept as a pet a lot, and it's like sold as a lion monkey.
Oh, really?
There's a lot of like it looks like a monkey, but its face is more carnivorous.
I mean,
so we're gonna say monkey and then say a carnivore name.
There is like a lion monkey, isn't there? Like a monkey with like this huge lion. Yeah, the golden lion tamarin.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That would be a lion monkey, and does not look anything like the Kinkajou.
Well, that's what I was reading. That it was like people just call it a monkey, but they also notice that it has more of a carnivorous face, so they give it another name like bear or lion.
Oh, okay, I get that. Also, some locals give it the name La Llorona, which means the crying woman.
Yeah, that there was a big scary movie about that not too long ago.
Oh, was there?
Yeah. Were you about to say the legend of that, like what that comes from?
No, I was just going to say that La Llorona was the name of the song that they sing at the end of Coco.
Oh, really?
Well, the song that the Imelda, the one dead aunt that was trying to stop him from doing music, she sings La Llorona. It's her song.
Well, it's like it's a folkloric ghost that like there's a bunch of different iterations of this, but one of the most popular ones is like you hear a crying woman by a river and she like steals children and stuff.
It sounds awful. Like a lot of folklore things. It's just there are awful spirits out there, and they want to do you harm. We need to come up with some nice spirits.
A lot of these folkloric tales come, like especially that have to do with like don't go near that river, are like don't go near that river because you'll drown or get eaten by a crocodile or apparently get swallowed by a catfish. So like parents say like, what's something more like scary to a child? Oh, a ghost, you know?
Yeah, that would have kept me far away from a river if I knew that there was a crying woman whose child had died that was going to drag me below its watery depths.
Nope, just a fish. A big fish.
So, the nickname that I came up with is Meerkat Manners, because it looks like a meerkat and it has terrible manners when it eats.
Oh, good. That's good for what we're going to talk about later.
Yes. So let's taxonomize this, shall we? Okay. It's in a kingdom we know, we love, and are in, and that kingdom is the one and only Animalia. The phylum is Chordata, the class is Mammalia, the order is Carnivora, as you mentioned before. It looks like it's got a carnivore's face, which, I mean, it's got a cute face, I'll tell you that. But it does have the forward, the protruding snout that a lot of carnivores have.
Yeah. Carnivores, like the telltale like skull shape is like this elongated shape it's a round head that ends in a snout that's either pointed or rounded, but it's usually got powerful jaws with some sharp canines. Right.
The family is Procyon, which is raccoons and raccoon-like animals, most of which I had never heard of before, like
the coati,
the coatimundi, the olingo, the cacomissile,
the ringtail,
and the ringtail, which is not the ringtail lemur. It's a ringtail. Yeah. It's kind of like raccoon light.
They're all very raccoonish.
Yes. So yeah, this is related to the raccoon. The genus is Potos, and the species is Flavus. So it's Potos flavus, which looks to me
Flavishum.
It looks like it means like Flavian potentate. Like so and can you guess what a Flavian potentate might be?
I don't know what Flavium means, but I know potentate is like a ruler.
Yeah, so a ruler in Flavian was an era in Roman emperor history, and one of the Flavian emperors was Vespasian.
It all is coming together like an Ouroboros.
Eating its own tail. But since we're in the business of naming things, let's get to my favorite part of the show, which is the one and only critter groups. The part of the
Bless
show.
You.
Thank you. This is the part of the show where I ask Joe a question, and that question is the same every time, and that is, what is the name of a group of this animal? It could also be phrased, what is the collective noun for this animal, or what is the term of venery for this animal, if you want to be posh about it. So, Joe, what is the name of a group of kinkajous? Is it A, a troop, B, a tribe, C, a mask, and D, a sadness? So a troop of kinkajous, a tribe of kinkajous, a mask of kinkajous, or a sadness of kinkajous. Also, I don't know if it's kinkajous or kinkajou, like the plural.
Like sheep.
Yeah, or moose.
I'm going to go with troop because a lot of people mistake these for monkeys, and monkeys come in troops. So I'm going with troop.
Final answer?
Yes.
You're correct.
Ooh,
darn it.
That's one of the only times like thought and reason helped.
I thought troop and tribe would really throw you off.
Sadness was what was getting that's such a it's so not good. Like it's got to be a real one because none of them are very good. Except for this one is also incorrect because it's not a monkey, but I can see why people would think it's a monkey and thus think it's a troop of them.
I mean, it's correct because sometimes the same term of entry is applied to several different animals.
Oh, I guess it's correct because nothing matters in terms of entry. So, yeah, I guess it is.
There is an official source, though, and that's that,
Yes.
almanac from 14-something. So,
fair.
As long as it's old, it's legitimate.
Bold.
So, let's talk about what this guy looks like. So, if you've never heard of a kinkajou, I mean, you've gotten some hints from us. Called it meerkat manners. We've called it a bear. Called it a cat monkey. We said something about carnivores. So, but let's break it down. So let's start with the fact that these guys are dangerously cute. It's been a while since we've covered it like a truly adorable animal. I know we did the koala last week, and you could make a case for the pangolin. But for the past 12 episodes, we've pretty much done non-cute animals.
Interesting.
So we're back to our roots. We're back to the collar.
We're back to our cutes.
We're right back to our cutes. And just like the collared pika and the southern grasshopper mouse and just some of the oldies but goodies. We talked about some cute animals. So these guys are like little lemur monkey meerkats. So I think that kind of sums everything up. They have long cat-like bodies with shorter legs, kind of like a weasel, and they have large eyes, little button noses, and little rounded bear ears. Their fur is this like bright golden brown with more gold on the bottom for tummy scritches and more brown on the top for back scritches. And they also
counter shading.
That's right. And I'll talk about where they live later, but they also have a long prehensile tail for gripping tree branches, like a monkey. You can definitely see why someone would call this a monkey if they saw it from far away, which most people see it from far away because it likes to be in trees.
Like a New World monkey, too, which is where it lives.
It's very true.
In the New World.
Which isn't that new anymore. I mean, it never was new.
But Old World monkeys don't have a prehensile tail. Only the New World monkeys do. Like the spider monkey.
Interesting. I think I knew that.
Huh.
They have cat-like bodies, but are they as big as cats?
Well, that depends because cats are all different sizes.
Is there like a Maine Coon?
Well, there's only one way to find out. Welcome to the beloved Measure Up segment, the official listener's favorite part of the show. The part of the show when we present the animal size and dimensions in relatable terms through a quiz that's fun for the whole family. It's also part of the show that's introduced by you when you send in audio of yourself saying, singing, or chittering the words Measure Up into ldtaxonomy@gmail.com. We have a new Measure Up intro this week from one of our good friends of the show and father to some very stupendous children that have also participated. This one comes from Jamie.
Awesome.
Without further ado, the listener's favorite part of the show.
Measure Up.
Whoa, that's Jamie?
That's Jamie's deepest voice.
Oh, wow, that is quite a deep voice. He's got to have just the Adam's apple of the century.
The email said, we did a little editing on Jamie's just for fun. And it was fun.
That was fun. I couldn't even recognize him. It would have taken me I would have not guessed it had we done the guessing thing. So I'm glad we didn't.
That's true. I forgot about that. Maybe that's not going to happen. That would have been funny. Dang, I forgot. Let's talk about length. Oh, also thank you, Jamie.
Yes, thanks, Jamie.
Length. It's 40 to 60 centimeters or 16 to 24 inches. Let's call it the high end, 24 inches. How many kinkajous go into the length of the longest zip line in Mexico?
I like 24 inches is 2 feet, so it's perfect.
Yeah, it's a nice little round number for you, or even number. Here's a hint:
round.
the zip line is nicknamed Big Papa, which sounds round. It's located near Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. There are longer zip lines in Peru and Puerto Rico, by the way.
I've been on a zip line in Peru.
I've been on one only in Jamaica.
I mean, they can be really long. Not like a mile, but pretty long. I'm going to say 800 feet. That sounds like a lot, but not too much. So 800 feet is where I'm going with this long zip line, and since the Kinkajou is at the high end about 2 feet long, then we'll say about 400 Kinkajous. That's my final answer.
The correct answer is 1,968
boy.
Kinkajous. The zip line is 1,200 meters or 3,930 feet.
That is that's very different from my answer.
That's like going from the top of a mountain to the ground.
Yeah, or a small mountain.
But the one in Peru is like 2 kilometers long, and then Puerto Rico is like even longer than that.
You could like fall asleep on it.
I don't think you would though.
No, probably not.
A picture I saw, like a person was like pointed forward like a missile.
Ooh, like Superman.
Yeah, it looks super fun.
Zip lines are really fun. But it's always bad. It's always scary because they the ones that have you put on a glove and stop yourself.
Yeah, because they say stop, like slow yourself down by putting your hand behind yourself on the line behind the little wheel thingy, but never put it in front because then you'll run over your fingers and that would like destroy your hand.
Yeah.
And then you're spinning around. So it's like
which way is forward?
Which way is forward? Okay, this one. And then in Jamaica, the one we went on, they were like, if we tell you to, you need to slow yourself down by putting your hand on the line. But it was like, but how do I know? You only know if like you're approaching them at Mach 10 and they're like freaking out. So you have to like, slow down. I guess that's them telling me.
Yeah, they should just have an automatic lever that you push that just kind of slows you down like a train.
Yeah, but I like the. You mean like yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that would make sense. Invent that. Let's talk about weight. It's 1.4 to 4.6 kilograms or 3 to 10 pounds. Let's go with 10 pounds.
Love it.
It's another nice round number for you. How many Kinkajous go into the weight of a large jaguar mundi? It's a type of wildcat that's native to Central and South America and a natural predator to the Kinkajou.
So there's a cousin of the Kinkajou is the Coati, also known as the Coatimundi. So what's this Mundi business?
It's not Mundi, it's Jaguarundi.
Oh, I think you should put an M there. But still, it's a same suffix there. Undi, just kind of slapping it on the end of some other animal. This is the lion undi. And the crocodile
maybe it
undi.
means small because it's like it's spelled jaguar and then undi. So maybe it's like small jaguar. Here's the hint. Jaguarundis have been sighted in Florida since 1907. They were also sighted in Georgia in the 80s, and there's no definitive specimen that has been captured or killed yet. But there have been incredible sightings.
No definitive in the United States or at all?
In the United States.
Oh, I was like, what?
There's pictures of them and you can see them at zoos. They're like cats that come in either brown or like this orange color that looks like they're just like Thomas O'Malley, the alley cat from Aristocats.
O'Malley, the alley cat. I'm gonna say 4. I think that the Jaguar Mundi is 40 pounds.
The correct answer is 2 Kinkajous. The Jaguarundis can grow to be 20 pounds.
I was gonna say 3, and then I was like, that's not that much bigger.
I like small house cat sized wildcats because it's like, what are you doing out here in the wilderness? How'd you get out here, Tabby? Like, what the heck?
You should either be in
Mr.
someone's
Sprinkles,
home.
get inside.
Mr. Wisples, you should be either in someone's home or you should be 800 pounds and prowling the Bengal forests.
Yes.
That's the only 2 places that cats can be, actually.
Exactly. Also in the rainforest, hunting down Kinkajous, very sadly. But very cutely. There's a lot of cute matchups out there in the animal kingdom, like the stoat
The stoat.
and And the Pika.
Except when the stoat is dripping with the Pika's blood. Its white coat stained red.
I've never seen that picture, and I hope never to. But that's all I got for Measure Of.
All right, let's talk about where the Kinkajou lives. You mentioned Mexico. We talked about trees and forests and stuff like that. And that's pretty much it. It loves the tropical rainforests of Central America and northern South America. And when I say northern South America, I mean pretty much that whole top part, from Colombia to Bolivia. So it's pretty much an unbroken habitat range from like Mexico to Bolivia, which is a pretty big range, and all of Brazil. It spends most of its time high up in the treetops to avoid predators that are prowling down below, and to find hard-to-reach fruit. So that makes it a bad businessman because it doesn't go for the low-hanging fruit. I've worked with a Kinkajou before, and they're just bad businessmen. They can't put together a cost-benefit analysis to save their lives, and also they poop in the coffee maker.
In it? Because they like to hang out in the upper cabinets.
Right. I actually have worked with a Kinkajou before, believe it or not.
Oh, that's right.
I used to work at an insurance company, and the owner's wife owned a Kinkajou, and she would bring it into the office, and it would just kind of sometimes hang out on the top parts of our cubicles and sleep. I mean, it's nocturnal, so it would usually sleep during the day. But his name was Roger.
Yeah, they're popular pets because they're pretty like mild-mannered and docile, and they're playful, just like your typical pet. But they're also like, they're not domestic, so they will like poop everywhere. And the Wikipedia said they'll sometimes attack and scratch and bite deeply. Yeah, sometimes they will not have a good time, and they'll just take it out on your arm.
Yeah, they can definitely be temperamental. They definitely have sometimes really bad meerkat manners. So here's some fast facts before we get to the major fact. So you mentioned the jaguar mundi, but other predators include actual jaguars, ocelots, tyras, boas, and eagles. You also mentioned that they bite, and so you don't want to get bit by one of these guys because their saliva contains a dangerous bacteria. So it's kind of like the Komodo dragon or Gila monster, like one of those big lizards that doesn't actually have any venom, but they have a specific bacteria in their mouth that is really bad when it gets into your bloodstream. So their bites can be a lot worse than just the actual physical trauma of being bit by a Komodo dragon. Or
they also carry a flatworm that it can infect or get into humans, and if it reaches the brain, it can be deadly.
Oh wow! I heard they also carry a Glock 19.
Yeah, watch out for the gun.
The Kinkajou's carrying.
They do have concealed carry in Florida, so that's why they moved to Florida, because it's so
they can get a piece.
Carry state.
The freaky cat monkey's got a piece.
Strapped.
As you mentioned, lots of Kinkajous are kept as pets, exotic pets, but a lot of people don't realize that they can live for up to 40 years in captivity. So, you buy a young Kinkajou, you've married that Kinkajou. It is part of your family. So
that's nice, though.
Yeah.
To have a pet that lasts long.
That lasts generations.
That's not generations.
Yeah, a generation is like, 30-something years?
Is it? Oh, I guess. But meaning like it's not a generation as in you definitely need to pass it on to your children. You might if you're old.
No, well, if you
get hit by a bus.
If you get a newborn Kinkajou and it lives to like its natural captivity length, you'll be old enough to have children. And your children might even be old enough to have children by the time it dies.
Well, it's not like an African gray, which is like 80 years.
Yeah.
And you definitely have to put that in your will.
I leave to my son my entire fortune and my Galapagos tortoise.
Yeah, it's 800 pounds.
It's 800 pounds. Queen Elizabeth I gave it to our ancestors. So you're going to have to take... Actually, that's more like the Greenland shark. Go check out our Greenland shark episode. Can live to up to, 500 years? Goodness. The Shakespearean shark. That should have been my nickname for that. But that's all I got. Those are my general info facts.
Okay, let's get into the major fact, which I'm calling the Prosonidae pollinator. Was that how you said that?
I said Procyon, but
Procyon.
That works.
Gotcha. Here we go. The Kinkajou plays an important role in the spreading of fauna throughout the rainforest. Or rather, flora, not fauna. I mean, it spreads itself by walking.
And yeah, it has babies in different places, so it does spread fauna.
Exactly. But typically the sowers of the animal kingdoms are typically birds, bugs, and bats, the 3 Bs. However, the Kinkajou's arboreal lifestyle and diet make a unique animal in terms of seed distribution. Kinkajous are in the order Carnivora, but as we talked about, they mostly eat fruit. And every once in a while, they'll eat a bug here and there, but it's mostly fruit. And
they're a disgrace to the order Carnivora.
Or are they... I feel like if you want to live in the trees, it's easier to just eat fruit, especially if you live in fruit trees, like fig trees, which they are wont to do. They hold fruit in their paws and rake out the soft insides with their tongue. While they do this, seeds from the fruit drop onto the forest floor below. So it's a good thing they have bad meerkat manners, because their sloppy eating style spreads seeds throughout the forest. Any seed that the Kinkajou consumes makes its way to the ground in droppings, which means poop, which is basically a case of fertilizer for a seed to be in. So it's a good place for a seed and a bad place for everything else. Many different types of frugivores that consume seeds spread them far and wide. Not many carnivores are fruit seed distributors, but some are, especially its omnivorous cousins like raccoons, which sometimes eat fruit, but their diets are more varied. However, Kinkajous do something else that helps out plant reproduction in a way that literally no other carnivore does. They like to eat nectar. Like a butterfly or a bee.
A hummingbird.
Yeah. Their long 5-inch tongue can protrude from their mouth and reach down into flowers to reach nectar. As a side note, why is it that every time an animal eats nectar, some documentarian says they gorge on nectar? I've read this a million times.
Vampire bats and mosquitoes will gorge on blood. It's just like they just get they fill themselves past
as much as they can, I guess. But it's just sugar water. It's not a whole rotisserie chicken. But I guess like in the animal kingdom, if you find a source of sugar, it's very rare and delicious, and you want to get as much of it as possible.
It's also
but fruit
food
have sugar,
it's their food, but it's in a liquid form. So most animals eat some sort of solid food, but the ones that eat their main food is liquid. I guess you could reserve that term gorge for that.
Really? Because I don't think of gorge as something having to do with liquids.
I think of it as a big canyon.
Me too. Anyway, as they gorge on nectar, their noses and faces get covered in pollen. When they move on to the next flower, the pollen gets all up in there and cross-pollinates with new plants. So move over, bees. There's a new florist in town, and it's the Kinkajou. But yeah, that's...
I read that they'll just like straight up just eat a flower. They'll just put the whole thing in their mouth and eat it.
Now that kind of ruins the whole pollination thing.
Yeah, unless they just upchuck it onto the next flower.
Yeah. See, like it's not like seeds where if they come out in droppings, everything's hunky-dory. It's like if you swallow the whole thing, pollen and all, that's gone.
Yeah,
unless it happens to fall on I don't know what happens to pollen in digestion. It's probably not good. Seeds, I think, are designed for that a little bit more.
Unless they poop directly into a flower.
Even then, I think the pollen is like probably not. It's not in prime condition.
Can you imagine if this was the only animal to use a toilet, and that toilet was other flowers?
No. There's another animal that uses a toilet.
Oh, the naked mole rat their dens have a specific place to go to the bathroom.
There's a type of mouse or frog that specifically is able to walk on the sides of pitcher plants, whereas other animals would slip and fall in. But they're able to walk on it, and they are able to lick the like tasty nectar around the side that's intended to lure in bugs, and it poops into the pitcher plant while it eats. So the pitcher plant gets some like
nutrients,
and the I think it's a mouse gets some tasty goodies. So it's like it's a toilet.
That's insane.
Yeah,
we need to do that animal.
There's a True Facts video about that. Z Frank.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I got. The Kinkajou is a little pollinator, like a bee. No other carnivores do that.
A very cute pollinator. Probably maybe the cutest.
I don't know. A bumblebee is pretty cute. Not in the face, but like if you look at the whole package.
But I mean, from I think on every dimension, a Kinkajou is cuter than a bumblebee. If you get up close to a bumblebee's face, the whole cuteness aspect fades away a little bit.
But have you ever seen like a bumblebee like with its head down into it like a small flower and its butt sticking up, and its like legs are like twitching around? It's adorable.
In a different kind of way, like I don't want to give it scritches. That's
true, but it's tiny and fuzzy. Those are two very good things.
I mean, among other bugs, it is cuter.
It's between that and that one type of spider that's small and furry and has really big eyes.
Yeah, but still 8 eyes. It totally ruins all semblance of cuteness.
Yeah, there's a lot of cuteness in the eye, and if you have a composite eye or if you have 8 eyes, you're really starting from behind.
Yeah, and especially if you have little beady ones. Like having big eyes and a small nose, that's kind of what humans see as cute.
Like your Coralines and your dog from that one, Frankenweenie.
What?
Coraline, you know Coraline.
Yes.
Big, I guess like a big black eye with a tiny nose.
I guess. I mean, that part of that movie is everybody's eyes are being replaced with buttons that are sewed in.
I have never seen Coraline.
Well, that's, I mean, it's one of those dark, creepy clay baby movies, so. But, yeah, sure. I was going to say babies that have small noses and big eyes, but.
Babies.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, that's the Kinkajou. And Coraline. So for you out there in Podcastia, put down the meat, add some fruit to your diet, and remember to try and spread your droppings around so that you can help pollinate your favorite trees, like the Kinkajou here in Life, Death, and Taxonomy.
Hey, psst. LDT listeners, did you know we have t-shirts available for purchase? We have shirts, hoodies, and kids' tees. Just go to teespring.com/stores/taxonomy tees or go to ldtaxonomy.com/taxonomy tees and click the link. Thanks for listening, engaging, and maybe getting some merch.
Life, Death, and Taxonomy is my favorite in the world podcast.
Okay, this time it was bad advice.
That's
actionable for a child.
Because you sow, SOW, you sow seeds. But
is it? Is it SOW for sowing seeds and SEW for
Yes.
sewing clothes? Interesting. Then you're correct, and there is no problem. It's a sower. But the parable of the sewers.
The stinkiest parable.
Anyway,